Hi, Farida.
Hi, Niranjan. How are you today?
Doing good, thank you. How about you?
All good. Fine, Ba.
Hi, both of you.
Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
You can hear me, right?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so how's everyone doing? Hope all well. How was your weekend?
Yes. All
Mhm.
goes well. Everything is good.
Okay, so what did you do on the weekend? Especially those of you who maybe went out of home and did something fun.
Saturday night we went to a movie, a night show.
Okay. Which movie is that?
That's it. And it's a Tamil movie named Talaivan Talaivi. Vijay Sethupathi, he is the hero. That
Okay.
movie with that nearby theater, DNC.
Oh, okay.
That's the weekend special. Nothing more than that.
Is it
The
a
Sunday we
recently
wake up.
recently
Yeah,
released
recently
movie
released.
or?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
recently
Okay.
released movie.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So
I
you
ran a
went to-
marathon on Sunday.
Ah,
Ah,
well, good.
wow.
Athlete.
Yeah. No, not athlete, but I tried though.
Hmm.
How many kilometers?
5 kilometers. So it took almost
That's good.
46 minutes for me to complete though.
It was L&T's
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
it's something that we do every year. So
With friends or like,
my
How?
my dad,
oh, you and your dad. Okay.
yeah.
Excellent.
Mm,
And
Niranjan,
yes.
yeah, a small request. Actually, it's not a request, it's a permission. Actually, what today, coming Saturday, there is a session for us. For Saturday on August 8th and 9th, there is a 2-day National Year Conference at Lee Royal Meridian, Chennai. From my company, they nominated me.
Okay.
Anyway, I will be there for the 2-day session. The topic is metamorphosis in the work arena, navigation the new frontier. That's scheduled on 8th and 9th August 2025 at Lee Royal Meridian Hotel, Chennai.
Okay.
EFSI, they are organizing the employer of South India, that they are organizing the program.
Okay.
Okay,
8th is Saturday, right?
Yeah, 8th is Saturday. 8th
Okay.
and 9th, 9th is Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
Friday,
9th is
Saturday,
Saturday.
you are. So
Yeah,
Saturday, you're
in
not
the-
going to attend the class.
Yeah, I will be in the session, yes.
Hmm.
I
Okay. No problem. I
Okay,
mean,
yeah.
maybe if you
will
can,
watch it.
if
I
you
will watch
can-
it
you'll watch the recording.
recording, and I will try to join if it is possible. I'll yes. I don't know how the situation will be there. I will try it, and I will
No
come
problem.
back to you.
We will let you do that if you promise to share your learnings on the next Tuesday.
Definitely. What are all the learnings? I will share it for you.
Okay, good. Then it's
Okay.
fine. So who did you watch the movie with, James? You went with friends, family, just alone? No, James?
Mhm. Sir? Oh, for me, you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh no, with my family, with my family.
Okay, with your family.
Yeah. Always I used to prefer go with my family only.
Okay.
I used to I used to spend time because anyways for the whole day I'm in the office. After in the weekend, it's for me it's only a Sunday. A Saturday also a full day working day for me. Only the Sunday. Anyways, the Saturday night and the Sunday I will spend fully with my family only. If I want to go
That's
anywhere, I will go with my family.
okay. That's good. What did the others do on weekend?
I was
Half day
on my
cleaning
vacation.
work. Okay, fine, Deepak, you go ahead.
So I was on my vacation for past 10 days. I was in Indonesia actually. So I
Wow.
landed yesterday morning around 1:30 on. Yeah.
Is this your idea of making everyone jealous, or are you just sharing your weekend plans?
No. I see. I have a practice of going to vacation every half yearly. Like me and my wife, we are very particular on that, and we make sure it happens. So
Okay.
Jan, I was in Sri Lanka, and now after exact 6 months, so we are there.
Like I said, you're just trying to make us jealous. It's fine. I'm not asking you any more questions. Just kidding, Deepak. Nice to have you here. So you just landed from Indonesia, all right?
Yeah.
What more fun things did people do?
Landed from Indonesia to directly our class. Huh?
No, I was not able to do that because my most of my plans was on the second half. So and the timing difference is 2.5 hours before from Chennai. So it was difficult for me to manage that. So I need to catch up all those things in the weekend, I think.
All right. Yes, Sheena, you were saying something.
Yes, it's little funny, but on Sunday I sat with my kids and I was, teaching my kids about some subject, it's physics. And I was even, it's so interesting because it's almost so long, like, sitting with, yeah, I used to sit, but then not so deep and all. So I was learning this kinetic energy, linear momentum, and I have learned the formulas and all. And when I was teaching my kids, and he started laughing, what is this? This formula is not even this methodology is totally different. What you're saying is different. What I have learned from the school is different. So again, I'm from old school book, but still, the current methodology. I was searching Google, and I'm trying to match with my son's speed, but still like their understanding and methodology is different, and what I have learned is totally different. There's something that I've done this, and apart from that, yes, regular houseworks, and we have almost 4 washrooms. I clean the entire washrooms on Saturday and Sunday. Like, this is something I've done, and yeah, it was still fun, like with the kids and with the family. So it went like that.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Teaching kids, that's great. Very difficult than teaching adults. So kudos to you. Okay, so anyone else? Any more interesting things that you did?
You can also tell us, Niranjan.
What did I do? Saturday, I spent time, um, of course, after the class, I went and watched a movie actually. And then evening, no, oh, I'm mixing it up. So Saturday was interesting. I actually went to a book review by this author by name Richa Sharma. So she released a book. So I was invited to. So they had sent me the book a few weeks earlier to read it and review and then give comments. So I went there because there was an author meetup. After that, I watched 2 plays. I like theater a lot, so I ended up watching 2 plays, one in English, one in Telugu, written by Neil Simon. So that's what my Saturday went. Sunday just went just like that. I don't know. Just Sundays just breeze through. And then, it's almost like they never existed. And then Monday arrives. So yeah, Saturday, a lot of outside this thing, and then Sunday was pretty much, at home and eating and sleeping and all of that.
Niranjan,
Yes.
yeah, I didn't do much anything on Saturdays and Sundays. I was just at home as usual. But interestingly, I just, going through whatever concept we have been, going through all the classes. So I was referring all the books. So the work also you asked us to prepare. So I was just preparing, and then interestingly, my topic, I took one topic and then I was just going through it. And the case studies I wanted to do, and similarly, some of the beautiful project which was in Netflix. So it's very up to what I have chosen. So when I saw it, that Fire Festival, it is 2022. It's about the leadership, what went wrong. When you go through innovation, but you don't see what is the system requirement, how it can turn around and it be a disaster. So it's a beautiful this thing. It's about the World Music Festival. It turned disastrous. It's a 24 years old entrepreneur. He gathered around thousands of people to the island, but he was not prepared for the infrastructure part. So he was focused on that. So it turned out to be a disaster. And the other one is that Woodstock.
Okay.
It's also another, I think HBO or Hulu. It's a film. It's also about the what are the repercussions, like the leadership fail to look into. So 2-3 web series I saw it. It was quite interesting. It very gave me some kind of idea that what kind of we have been studying. It can be a case study kind of a thing I just took, and then I was working on that. So that's what my Saturday Sunday meant.
Okay, very good, interesting. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so very quickly, let's look at what we agreed on doing last week, Saturday when we left. Who was supposed to do what?
I think for group
Yeah.
one or group B, group A, whatever it was like, okay, how trust is being built
Yes.
between a new hire and the manager. And I mean, that was the topic
Sure.
that we were supposed to be on. And I think, I mean, Anant Priya actually took the initiative to create a group and brought us all together where we actually connected. That was one of the exercises that we did on Sunday, to be honest. And then she, I mean, took down patiently, listened to all our feedback, and she also put the effort of consolidating everything. So we thought, okay, let Anant Priya present it on behalf of the group, and we will definitely pitch in wherever we had filled in for us. So I mean, if you are okay with it, Niranjan, I mean, that way, or any
Please.
other specific
No,
suggestions.
no, go ahead, go ahead. Whatever you guys have planned, I'm fine with.
Anant Priya, over to you.
You can all see my screen.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So this is the topic we worked on, Niranjan. So evaluate in your organization how the trust has been formed by the new hire and the manager. This is our team where we worked on. So let me go to the next slide. So we are just segregating this into two things. One is from the manager perspective and from the new hire perspective. Okay. And how the trust is built right from the pre-onboarding. Okay. And so on the pre-onboarding part, as a manager, they can invite for the lunch or dinner if the budget is allocated. For us, for me in the organization, we do this practice for the leadership team. If someone is joining, so we have this pre-onboarding, and for Abhishek, it is irrespective of any grade, they will be following this. They will be having the lunch or dinner to understand more about the candidate expectation and assigning the mentor or buddy to know more about the organization. So this is one practice from the manager perspective. They are doing it to know more about the company or to know more about the candidate. And in the new hire perspective, what they can get to know more about the manager or from the organization, readiness to understand the policies, relocation query, so career roadmap. If I join in your organization, what can I expect? So the manager should show the roadmap so that he will also feel comfortable that manager is enough kind to understand what is my expectation, and he can build a trust from the pre-onboarding process itself. Okay. And now coming to the post-onboarding. Post-onboarding, a manager can introduce, manager need to introduce the new hire personally to the team members so that he feel manager is taking time for me to get introduced with the time. Also the cross-functional teams, in case if it is a finance, if the finance guy is joining, he needs to go and introduce to the cross-functional teams also, so that he feel that the manager is doing some efforts, that he is taking time to introduce me in the organization. So this is one part. And setting up the roles and responsibilities,
Sorry,
team norms,
Ananthapriya, to
communication style, expectation. That is expectations.
Sorry to interrupt.
Ah.
Also introducing the new hire to the team will
Yes.
also make them feel like
Yes.
they're part of the group. So in order to induce a sense of belongingness.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Anba. Thank you for pitching in. And then setting up the roles and responsibilities, team norms, and communication style. So communication style in sense like some teams will be having certain styles. In case if an employee wants to take a leave, okay, some managers will expect to them to call and inform. Some managers will expect drop me a message, that is enough. If some deadlines are to be met or something has to be any project related queries, or there should be uphand information to be given, not on the last thing. So there should be a team communication style what a manager can expect. So he can set that expectation to the new hire so that he will also not feel demotivated when something went wrong. Okay, so this is one point. And frequent one-on-one on feedback, like everything is going good, what's working, what we can improve. So the constructive feedback also the manager needs to do with a new hire. And transparency with a new hire. So he should be very transparent in terms of what is coming up, like who's the team, how's the team, and everything, the policies and everything. He should be very transparent to the new hire also. And most importantly, he should give an opportunity to contribute early, like something low-hanging fruit or a quick project where he can finish the target and get appreciated or recognized too early. So he feel comfortable that manager is assigning something what I can do. And then the later part, he can add some more thing also. So at the early part, he can give this low-hanging fruits or quick projects to be completed. So when it comes to an new hire expectation, the first thing after the pre-onboarding, he also needs some transparency with the manager that, just hold on. Transparency, like speak about the challenges, talking about the environment, culture, and openness to ask for help also. So he will be expecting these from the manager to build a trust, okay, and availability of the manager and be approachable. So the manager should also be approachable and availability. So this makes a new hire so comfortable and very easy for him to build a trust between the manager and with him also. And talk about the career path and not just task. So the new hire needs to go and speak about the career path to his manager, so that the manager also feel this guy is really interested to grow in his career, not just coming, working, going. So the manager also feel comfortable with the new hire that he is having a visionary thinking and the front forward thinking, so that he can be elevated as soon as possible. So this kind of talk is more important when we have a chance to speak to a manager. And speak to the manager if the role has been diluted from the job description and the manager expectation. This is happening most of the times in my organization also. They will be coming in one job description. The interview has been done in one job description. They will be joining. And after he joins, the role is getting diluted. Okay, so they hired me for this role. So they called me for this role. The recruiter told me this role. I got interviewed for this role. But now what the job description they showed me, but I'm not doing that. I'm completely doing something. So this kind of discussion should happen with the manager if the role is getting diluted from what has been assigned for and what he is doing. So this is the most of the comments where our team members, Mahati and James, Inba, Abhishek, everyone was contributed. And if something overlapped, we have put it in one.
Great. Excellent. Very good effort.
So,
Thank you very much.
Team, if you have anything to say something, you can also be part of this. If I missed something.
No, Ananthapriya, I think you have covered everything. Very well covered. Yes.
All right.
Good.
So
Round of applause for you guys. Okay. Who's so Rama, Dipti, Sheena, Parthiban, and Pooja? What's your take on the leadership competency evaluation?
Actually, this
I'm
time
not so
on
sure.
the team, I think we didn't work
Yes,
team.
there is no team have been formed. I have done of my own, like based on the question, like I have prepared my own. So usually the last time I saw Deepthi was forming a group, I tried to join, and then because last Saturday I'm unable to be a part of in all the session. Last means last to last week, the first Saturday session,
No problem.
and then
It's okay.
so
So
thereby
what we can do is you can just go. You can just take us through what you've done,
mm,
and
okay.
maybe very quickly others can join from your team and they can contribute to it. It's okay.
So based on the current experience where I'm facing here, the evaluate the current leader competency and have to come up with the planner.
Mhm.
Okay, address this gap. So this is the question assessment, I mean homework for us. So the current like I have joined this company 6 months back. So I told you that I have an experience with operations and training. I'm a triple T certified. So I'm not completely into sales. So this is all my live experience. So here this process just 1 year olden system. This is actually emerging process. It's not fully developed project, and I have joined just 6 months back, and there are people who have already been tenured in this project. There are team managers who are tenured this project. So these team managers, if I see, they have came from the scratch, like they've been as an agent, and then they promoted as an SME, and then they promoted as a team leader and the team managers. So this is the hierarchy. uh, so when I'm looking at these crowd, these team manager crowd, I still feel there is something still lacking when it comes to the leadership skills. One thing I have noticed is scheduling and planning. Like we usually do, planning of rosters, and we have deadline for each emails, and how to manage the time for how to escalate matter, how to de-escalate matter, uh, whom to loop, whom not to loop. So because they think that so because this all work we are working internally. Like when we go with the client, we all work. We will all join together, and we go and defend with the whatever the points we have. We used to do a dry run and all these things, but even internally I can see there is no coordination. So when they are highlighting some issues from the other department, they are looping the entire world. And this is something that I found a lag in the leadership skills. And because each people are in a different they worked in a different verticals, they worked in a different environment, and they have they carry different exposure. And put together, when a tenured person like me, like I have an experience, I have a diverse experience in back-end operations, non-technical, completely non-technical, back-end operations. I work with contact center, inbound marketing, sales, and all these things. Like when I enter into this people, when I'm seeing their level of understanding, when I put my things, it's not matching. So that always get into a conflicts. Like this is something that I found there is a lack in leadership skills. And the inclusiveness. If you talk about, when I'm talking about this, inclusiveness is missing. Like acceptance. They think that, okay, I'm here in this project for 1 year. She's just 6 months old. Though she maybe have a different experience, she may be in a posting, but still, I'm the one who's heading this project for a year. I'm here from the day when the project starts, so I know everything. But then the people who are coming out, the lateral entries, the people who are coming out from the organization, from different organizations, they are not able to accept. Still, I'm seeing that level of acceptance is lacking. So I just wanted to, by seeing all these things, I just wanted to, do a trade. Especially on the time management, the scheduling and planning, how to write an email and all these things. And second thing, inclusive training. So the name that I have put for the training program is cultural
behavior or cultural diversity training for these leaders, so that they will go and understand, they will learn what is leader. Again, we have lots of definitions are there when it comes to leadership skills, but when I grow as a leader, when I was working as a leader, the people used to see me in a different way. So I learned from my mentor, but then when I came here, I feel that my profile is slow when I go and compete with them. So I don't want to get in there. But then equally, it's my responsible that my peers also have to grow. They have to understand the skills, so that because they are the growing leaders, they should learn all these things. So just wanted to go with this training planner, like cultural diversity training program. And another one is about the time management. What is important, what is urgent? We have a matrix called urgent and important, so prioritizing. So these two things I just wanted to suggest for these leaders to. This is something that I found a competence here.
Good effort. Thank you, Sheena. Round of applause for Sheena.
Niranjan, can you upload my slide? I'll just put it on the group.
Rama, I think didn't get what you're saying.
Yeah, I have made one slide, so I'll
Go
put
ahead.
it on the. You can just upload it.
Yes, please.
Can you upload?
Are you sharing, Rama, or?
Yeah, I shared it. No?
He has shared it in WhatsApp and he's
Oh,
asking if
Okay. I'm not on that group, so somebody will have to do it.
can I present it if that's
please
okay?
present it. Yes, because I'm not able to upload. So
Niranjan, I've sent
Just
it
give
to
me a
you
minute.
Okay.
on WhatsApp.
Okay. But you can start talking, because if everybody has access, Rama,
yeah. So
you can talk through it.
the topic which was given to us is that the leadership gap, leadership competence gap. So you asked us to identify, come up with a plan to organize a training, whichever the leadership competences gap you found in your organization. And so I just made a slide which is based on my experience. I have seen many leaders in my experiences, but some of them are very, very enthusiastic and bring new innovative ideas to transfer into their vision into the business. But they lack of the structure and the system, which is the base which is required for implementing whatever their ideas, that has not been translated fully. So that's what I thought, that these are all the people, they have beautiful ideas, but when they are bringing into the action, but they don't see what is the thing which is not been visible, but that is more important, to back up that entire thing. So that is what the idea is all about. So I just mentioned that the leaders focus excessively on front-facing growth elements, like mostly on the product innovation. They have to keep on adding new things. Just do this, just do that, and expand whatever been done so far, and what can be maximized. So, but the integration is lagging, in the sense, means the system which is enabled to put these growth elements together, like whether it is infrastructure or logistics or distribution, sometimes HR compliances also. So these are all the elements are missing. What my experience means seen. So I thought that I just made a small kind of a PPT, which is the objective is to equip these leaders with the strategies to align innovative initiatives with the core organizational systems like infrastructure, HR, or logistics, or compliance, or emphasize that required for this creativity to thrive when structure, clarity, and systems readiness support it. And the core concept arrived from this is innovation needs a backbone, like which is whatever push for innovation, but fail due to lack of system support. And some of the theories I find that which is relevant to this concept is that the goal setting theory, whether we are setting a goal which innovation is in a primary objective, that must be tied to specific, measurable, and time-bound goals.
Okay.
And also the cognitive evaluation theory, that also needs employees are more motivated when they feel in control and understand the structure. And two-factor theory also very important because hygiene factor, though it is not motivation, but to avoid demotivation, the basic structure, which is very, very important to make this sustainable, before expanding or expecting engagement. And the activity I just planned to so maybe it could be a innovation readiness audit, before launching any new product, or having do some kind of case studies of some of the organizations which have been had similar kind of experience which has made. That was some of the example I was talking about, the fire festival or like that. You can take up any of the companies. The Boeing 737 is one of the example. And also, we also had some kind of so this kind of practices which has gone bad. So that could be the case studies could be taken and then make these people to understand that while they are doing such kind of exercise, what could also be taken care. And the takeaway from this training program is innovation fails without infrastructure. Leaders must set operational goals alongside visionary goals. Proper structure enhances motivation and reduces uncertainty. So in a small PPT, I just what thought I had in my mind. I've always seen people and it was running in the mind. These people should be given training. These people should be given training. So it's a very personal experience.
Very good. Good job. Good stuff.
You can remove the slide. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyone else wants to share or?
Yes, I have also given a thought, Niranjan.
Sure.
So basis my organization situation and scenario, I mean, we have mostly, we have very exhaustive programs offered to the organization at every level. Okay, and we have collaborations from INSEAD to Harvard Business School to, we have all sorts of programs, existing at every level of pyramid and the hierarchy. But currently, with the changing market situation and the current business scenario, I see the demand coming in for the AI in business a lot. Okay, so I gave it a thought for the set of people who are mostly customer facing and into client partner roles, that is basically they're customer facing, and you can imagine it to be a kind of a sales role. Okay, so they have to understand the customer business and contextualize to offer them solutions. Okay, so I see I've identified 3 key areas according to me. One is organizational change management, OCM. Okay, because starting from market to some of these client enterprises are undergoing a huge change. So this is the period of transition from in person to moving towards AI. Not just in terms of infrastructure systems, but countries like Japan, wherein we operate, they're also looking to coming up with AI-based workforce. So they have plans in future for that as well. The future for us could be a little longer, but the future for them would be really shorter. Okay, so organization will have to pace it up depending from geography to geography. Another is AI in business, because AI is just going left, right, center, everywhere. And third is contextual masters. So it becomes extremely important to contextualize this knowledge, okay, how you're going to manage that change from an individual to group to an organization, bringing in AI business knowledge and then contextualize it with the customer, business. Because we operate from retail to manufacturing to CBG to everything, basically, IT solutions. So So it is very important in that perspective. Now, when you asked me to talk about a training, when you asked to think about a training plan, the minimum I could think of was a model of, at least a 3 weeks training, blended with self-paced learning, virtual learning, as well as an in-person connect. Okay, which is going to be extremely difficult. So this has to be. I was just thinking through. So in case it is geo-specific, that in-person connect can be made a possibility. Otherwise, it's going to again put in a lot of cost and in case, if everybody has to travel from other geos, a particular place, kind of have this, it's going to have, again, the cost factor will come into picture. But considering, suppose if we are going in a very good times, or maybe it's geo specific, in case I'm doing it only for the geo, India geo, then I would like to go in the model of 2 half days and 1 full day for 2 weeks, and then 1 complete week of in-person training. And the in-person connect, I would like to go with the AI hackathons, wherein people are divided into and they are given a real life situation similar to what usually people think in capstone project or whatever. It's more of like a, but AI hackathons, if you see internally how it is done in our organization, they are given some real business scenarios related to some real customers within the organization, and they are supposed to bring up some new ideas and have a prototype also as to what they will suggest as a solution to the customer, and definitely followed by some simulation if it is possible for an individual capability engaged. And I would like to also have some sort of an interview-based assessment, kept, because I was thinking through this particular program for senior leadership level, wherein I see the demand coming in. So this is what I had thought and penned down it in my book.
Okay, very good. Good stuff. Okay. So we'll move forward. Pooja and Parthiban, in case you wish to share, maybe we can take it up in due course of the class. But in case you would like to do it later, that's fine too. But we'll probably just move forward with what we have set for today, if that's okay. And if you'd like to share, just raise your hand and we'll allot some time in the next 1.5 hours. Okay, all right. So, just like a quick recap of, everything that we've covered so far, but just like a plan. So we have 2 more weeks left with OB. So, and we have 3 topics to cover. One is group behavior, group dynamics. The second is power and politics. And the third is conflict and stress. So, just looking at what we've done so far, I felt we will cover group dynamics, group behavior through this week. It's a fairly complicated topic, not because it is difficult, but because it involves more than one person. Because as soon as you say group, it is more than one person. Now, if one person itself is a complex being, imagine when 2 or more people come, what happens, right? So therefore, group dynamics become a very interesting, yet a very complicated, not complicated in a bad way, but complex in a good way, topic to discuss. Then we'll follow it up with, power and politics in organizations, because as soon as you think about groups of people coming in, politics will play a role and power dynamics will automatically come into picture. And we will then conclude with conflict and stress. Also, I thought it will be relevant because after that we have an exam. So what great way to get into an exam mode by talking about conflict and stress, because exams are stressful. I guess so. And it's for you, not for me. So I'm happy to end OB with conflict and stress. So broadly, this whole week we will spend with group dynamics, and then next week we'll see how things go. Okay with you? All right. So, okay, I've been trying to use this app for screen sharing. Let's see if this works today. So that way, everything I say, I'm able to broadcast it and start writing so you also can see, and then we can just take a, what do you call, a screenshot of the class. Okay, if you can see my screen. Okay, good. I hope if there's no lag, then I'll continue like this. But if there's a lag, then I'll just go back to my notebook. So as you were speaking, right? And team 1 came up with a PPT, team 2, we had few of you speak. I just noted down something which I thought is a great segue into our next topic. Because when team 1 presented this PPT with some of the issues that they were facing, I noted down a few points on some of the solutions that you were trying to provide, especially things like frequent one-on-ones, team norms, expectation setting. This came up from your PPT. And then team 2 started talking, and then some of the problems you recognized were, okay, you joined the organization and you found inclusion acceptance was a problem. There was a lot of misaligned communication. One of you tried to address the team member manager relationships and so on and so forth. And then, I said, okay, this is a great segue into our next topic, which of course is group dynamics and group behavior. Now, if you notice what we have done, remember the first class we said organization behavior starts with the individual, goes to group, and then, is also about organization. What we've covered so far, in the first 2 weeks, and this being our third, we started with a lot of individual behavioral theories. We spoke about personality, motivation, emotions, beliefs, attitudes. And then, we didn't do groups second, but we first went to leadership, which is at the organizational level. And we said, okay, this is what leaders need to do. Last week, we discussed a lot of leadership theories. Now, having understood how it operates at the front line, which is the individual level, and at the very top, which is the organizational or the leadership level. Of course, organizational is also about systems, practices, policies, but leadership is one of the key elements of organizational, organization level OB. Now we come to the middle part, again, very, very crucial, because it's like a connect between the first and the last, which is the group behavior. Okay. So now I would like maybe somebody who hasn't spoken so far, preferably, but not a compulsion. Anybody can speak. Right from the time you enter office, can you give me like a 2-minute summary of your start of the day till the end of the day? How does your day go like? What do you do? Like, just take me through the details of it, but as quickly as you can. Anyone?
I usually, when I enter my workplace, I kind of note down the things that I have to do for the day, plan
Okay.
it accordingly, prioritize which I have to do first and second, and how am I gonna go ahead with it, plan and prepare. And then at the end of every activity that I do, I finish a task, I would probably reflect on if there's something that didn't go well, what I would want to improve on, and what
So let me, sorry to cut you, Inba, but
yeah.
What you're saying is appropriate. I'm sure this is what you do.
Yeah.
But what I'd really like you to do is walk me through your, like, you've entered the gate, you've entered the door.
Okay.
Okay. Now tell me, how does your typical day actually look like? Maybe
all the
today,
details?
maybe yesterday. Yeah, not the parts where you have fun or, where you have conflicts, but maybe just a routine day.
Okay, I'll just walk in, punch. I also have to sign. And then I go to my place, I take my diary, I write down the tasks, and then I prioritize it and I prepare for it, then have my breakfast, and then go for my classes and workshops that I need to take. And
Mhm.
then we'll have a group discussion as to how it went and what can be better and suggestions. And every time there is a problem or I'm being stuck or any of the team members being stuck, we'll have a group discussion sharing all of this and their suggestions and opinions. So it's going to be an open conversation there. and yeah, lunch break, and pretty much the same afterwards. And then I head home. At the end of the day, I also kind of prepare for the next day in advance if I need to remember something that would help me start the next day better. In between all of this, there are also conversations that do come up when it comes to um, some sensitive topics that you would like to discuss as a group, since I work in a counseling setup. So that's something that we do talk about different perspectives, how we see things, and kind of figure a middle ground and share experiences. So yeah.
Okay. Can you expand a little on this part where you speak to the group? What do you do? Like, what kind of problems are, what typically, how does this group come together? What do you do?
Okay, there's no like group meeting as such. So whenever we meet for breakfast, we'll all sit together as a group and someone take initiative and then they'll start talking about their day or what they did. So it will usually start with casual experiences, something that they did or swimming class, and then people come into the conversation. And then if there's a specific problem that they feel, that's how it goes. And everyone adds to their point, and then another person begins the conversation from there. So our team is meant for having conversations that goes from say toothpaste to relationship issues. So that's how diverse the topics are, and all of it are very in-depth. So I think the space has been created in such a way that deep conversations can be held, to the point where we always meet up every chance that we get, breakfast, lunch, before we go home. So every group set up small meeting will start like a simple conversation, and then it'll go on to, and everyone, they would pitch in and ask for suggestions and help, instead of having to ask how was your class or workshop or something. Instead of asking that, they themselves will share. So that's how it goes.
Okay, good. Anyone else wants to take a shot at just the same way Inba explained, right from the time you punch in till you punch out? How does a typical day look like for you?
So see my day, I start my work by morning 8:50.
Who's this? Sorry, who's speaking?
Deepak.
Okay, yeah, Deepak. Go ahead.
So by 8:15, I should be in office. So I'll park my car, and from my car parking to the entrance, it will be like 10 minutes walk. So while walking itself, I'll go through all the mails which I missed to see in the night. And I have a to-do in my phone itself, so that I will prioritize whatever I was not able to do yesterday. I'll put the things on first, and whatever needs to be done on the day, I will put it on the next thing, so that I'll put the message in my team also, so that my team members also is aware what we are going to do today. So before going to my seat, all these things are set, and after that, any meetings or any other plans are there, I need to plan for that, for the interviews, and any planned engagement activities or any planned events which we are there, I need to do for that. So most of the times my work will be like unplanned and uncertain, like sudden meetings, sudden any issues might come, and suddenly my president will call. All those things will happen. So most of the time I will not have whatever I plan in the morning. I will not able to do. I will not able to satisfy those things. But somehow I'll try to do that within the time whatever is available for me. So I cannot go on a structured way what I plan in the morning. So it is totally out of my control once I go to my seat.
So Deepak, talk a little about this part where you spoke about team members. What do you do with team members, and how do you engage, interact with them? For what do you do? And my suggestion would be, instead of talking about like hypothetically, talk about what you did today or what you did on a particular day, like a real example.
I was on vacation for the past 10 days. I told that in the beginning itself. So we had a lot of events going on in our company. Like we had our open forum going on, and we had our top rated people have been asked to come with the family, and all those engagement arrangements have been going on. Though I was not available there, and my team, my division people were getting, I was remotely controlling things, and I was giving like even before like last year, whatever I planned, I gave them the checklist that this will be the things they will ask you, so that be prepared. And in last minute, they might ask you to get the addresses of them, their spouse name, and all those things will come up all of a sudden. So that let us be prepared. So whatever learnings I had last year, I gave them so that they can prepare themselves and be ready in case any uncertainties arise. Like that.
Okay, all right. So now, based on what Inba said, based on what Deepak said, of course, a lot of things that we do at the workplace, but two specific areas, which I've highlighted here, which is related to people, the group discussion. What do you make of what is the relationship that Inba spoke of or Deepak spoke of? And I'm sure with many of you, what is the relationship between you and your colleagues? What is the relationship?
One team. We are one team.
You are one team, okay. But what is when I say what is the relationship? One team is an attitude. That's great. I understand. But how do you become one team?
It's an interdependence because we are depend on mutual. Because it's a organization means it's a collective combination of working together.
Okay.
So it's a group activity. So we need the intelligence and the physical activities of individuals. So that should be a
correct.
Yes.
What else? What other words come to you? If you have to pick single words like interdependency, what other words come to your mind?
collaboration, coordination.
All right.
Teamwork.
Teamwork is correct, but teamwork is the output. So between input and output, what comes in between?
Conflicts also.
Okay, conflicts also. Fair enough.
Sharing thoughts, knowledge.
Competitor, make
Yes, Sheena, what were you saying?
like competitor, like
There's competition, you're saying.
competition. Yes, sorry, competition.
All right.
Strength, power, because group means it's a strength.
Okay. All of this is, I mean, at some level of the group dynamic, all of this is true, right? So none of this is untrue. But if we were to go to the basics of group dynamics, we will pick out some of this. But before we go there, tell me, why do groups exist in organization? Like, why do we need groups in the first place? Individuals are quite capable, right? What is the need to come together as a group?
Different thoughts and ideas.
Okay, so you're saying, if I have to use one word, diversity of thoughts.
Targets, like we have targets cannot be achieved by one person. We need multiple people to achieve the goal.
Basically,
Okay.
productivity.
Goal achievement, yes.
Scalability.
What is that? Scalability.
Yeah.
Okay.
Division of work.
Division of labor, yes. Okay.
To provide a bell curve. PCM.
Okay, all right.
For PMS.
Okay, I'll make a note of it. We will explore where it comes appropriately, okay? By the way, all of you can read my writing, or is it too bad?
Yeah.
Yes, we can read.
Good.
Readable.
Okay, why else? Why groups?
So multi-location, that way also multi-location, multiple.
Because of multiple locations, you're saying?
Yeah, but I mean, it's the organization multi location, then you need,
Okay.
teams.
Can't hear you very well, Dipti, but I don't know if it's just me or others too, but network is not that good, looks like.
To feel
Yeah, could be.
supported.
Is it any better?
Motivated and supported to
Yes.
motivate each other and to support each other.
Okay. Okay. Again, in the group dynamic, all of this is correct. Now, one of the reasons why groups, or rather, some of the reasons why groups exist is also to do with the fact that as social beings, we need some kind of security. Working alone does not provide that kind of security. So security is also one of the reasons why groups exist. Second is status. Maybe, like you said, for bell curve, not exactly bell curve, but I would say when you're working in a group, automatically relative ranking happens, whether consciously or subconsciously. So to some extent, working in a group makes you feel better than some people, and working in a group makes you feel inferior to some people. And when I say inferior, I mean it in a positive way, in the sense that you're motivated to get better, right? So you look at some people and say, oh, I know better than them. And you feel, wow, I feel so good about myself. But working in a group, you look at some people who are like so good, you know that they're better than you. So you get motivated to be like them, right? In a way, it contributes to self-esteem also. Fundamentally, groups exist because there's a human need for security. And the second is human need for affiliation. We all want to be connected with something, with someone that is larger than us. So the sense of community, okay, sense of community exists in almost every equation of our lives. So maybe I will join a community based on my language. I will join a community based on my preferences. So let's say somebody spoke of marathon at the start of this class today. You like running, so you join a community of runners, right? Of course, you can go and run alone, but running a marathon, the feeling is very different from running alone. Then, of course, there's this element of groups, which is power, because somewhere as human beings, we want to feel powerful, we want to feel in control all the time and get a sense of power from that. And what better way to do it than be in a group? And finally, like, of course, you said even goal achievement is a important aspect. Now, the other things, right? Diversity of thought, scalability, division of work, all of these are outputs of having a group. So when you work in a group, there will be diversity of thoughts, right? So all of these are outputs, all of these scalability, division of work, multiple locations being present of a company. And these days, that's the case, mostly the case everywhere. That's more a problem solving thing. So because you have multiple locations, it's easier. It's more administratively easier to form groups. And then, of course, motivate and support, which in a way speaks to the self-esteem requirement of why groups are formed, right? Now, coming back to what are groups, right? So at a very basic level, and we are students of OB, so we must always define something scientifically. Groups are nothing but a coming together of two or more people, right? So to form a group, you need to have two people at a minimum, and maximum can be up to whatever number. So which means one person cannot form a group. You need two people. So two or more people who are interacting with each other and interdependable on each other. Okay. So they are interacting plus they are depending on each other. If you are not interacting or if you are not depending, then it is not a group. So some of you come to office in public transport, right? Let's say you're in a bus. Bus has 100 people. Is it a group? Yes, no? No, right? A bus full of people is not a group. Why? Neither is it interacting. Maybe it is interacting. Actually, yeah. People in a bus do interact with each other. They talk. It's a 1 hour journey. You will inherently start talking, but you're not dependent on each other to go to your location. So just because 2 or more people are there at a location or together does not make them a group. They need to be interacting. They need to be interdependent, and both need to happen together. I mean, both need to happen. It's not one or the other. It is both. Okay. Now, this class, are we a group, and why? What? The answer could be yes or no. This could be a trick question. As a class, are we a group? Anybody cares to explain yes or no, and why?
Yes.
Why?
Because
Abhishek?
we are dependent on Niranjan's content to learn
Okay.
things. So
We also depend on each other to listen and understand because we all have different experiences. So we get to learn from each other.
Absolutely. Correct.
We have a
So,
common agenda.
yes, absolutely. So we have a common agenda, right? We are dependent on each other. I am dependent on you to join the class on time. You are dependent on me to join the class on time. You are dependent on me to share content. You are dependent on each other in two ways. One in direct ways, like you form a, you formed a team the other day, got together, created a PPT, right? You became a group. So those are direct ways of dependency. Indirect ways of dependency are, imagine one of you unmuted yourself, started playing loud music. Will it be okay to the others? Yes, no, no, right? Not possible, because as a group, you expect some norms that we will not disturb each other. When the other person's talking, I will stay quiet. In case both of us talk, at the same time, one of them will say, hey, sorry, yeah, why don't you go ahead, right? These are norms. Yeah. So as a group, what is essential is you are interdependent, you are interacting, and there is a great deal of one objective. There's one objective. That's why you are together. Now in a bus, it meets 2 out of the 3 criterias. People in a bus, public transport. Objective is the same. Everybody's trying to get from place A to place B. Let us assume the bus only goes from place A to place B. So it is possible, right? One long ride. Objective is exactly the same. Are you interacting with each other? Yes, you are. Maybe you're interacting more than you interact with some other people, because 1 hour long journey, what will you do? You will start talking. But the thing is, you're not interdependent. You are not dependent on the other person to travel from point A to point B, which is why in a public transport, even though 2 out of 3 criteria is met, you are not a group. Now tell me, if it is not a case of public transport, but it is a case of 100 office employees being picked up from point A and being dropped off at point B, is that a group? No? Why? Because even though the objective is still the same, 100 employees of company A are going together in a bus from point A to point B. They are there for one objective. Yes. They are interacting very much. But is there interdependence as so far as the travel is concerned? No. Therefore, it does not make a group. So the three essential elements of a group are objective, interaction, and interdependence. Now, you said we are a class and we are a group. That is correct. But I'm sure in organizations, there might be more such groups. So typically groups do get classified as formal and informal. Formal groups are basically those that are based on some kind of a org structure. Whereas informal groups are based on something called the need for social contact. Because I like to have some kind of social contact, I form informal groups. Now in formal groups also, you can have two varieties. One is the command group, and two is a task group, a task-based group. A command group is clearly defined by hierarchy. Command group. Okay. Whereas a task group could be, need not necessarily be based on hierarchy. So command group will be basically like you are there, you get instructions from your manager. You pass it on to your team members. Your team members pass it on to their team members. This is called a command group, very clearly hierarchy based. Task group could mean HR, finance coming together to do a task. You don't report to HR. You don't report to finance. Finance doesn't report to HR, but you come together. And excellent example of task groups could be cross-functional groups. You're not reporting to each other, but still it's a formal structure created by the organization which lacks reporting hierarchy, but needs to come together for the purpose of completement of the objective. Informal groups, on the other hand, obviously do not have an organization structure there. There's no cross-functional collaboration. Informal groups are again of two types. One is interest-based. The other is friendship groups. What is interest-based? Let's say very specific needs to come together. Marathon. Excellent example of interest-based group. They have come together for the purpose of running. As soon as the purpose of running is completed, they will disband and move on with their lives. They're not going to stick together completely. So therefore, interest-based groups will be short-term in obvious sense. Friendship groups does not mean, like the friends we have, that's not what we mean by friendship groups. Friendship groups in OB basically means, so if in interest groups, it is your hobby that has brought you together or your interest that has brought you together. In friendship groups, it is your characteristic that brings you together. Specific characteristics are common, which is what brings you together. In a manner of speaking, all your friends that you have, your personal friends that you have, you are together because you are forming an informal social contact group based on your characteristics. Because you like the characteristic of your friend, that person became your friend. And inherently, therefore, friendship groups will be long-term. Right? Now, in the organizational setup. So now tell me, is our class a formal group or an informal group? And why? Sorry, I didn't hear anyone.
We can consider task-based group because it's non-hierarchical. And in
Okay.
case we want to consider as an informal, then it's an interest-based group because the interest is to study HR management.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
I would say as of now it is formal. So maybe at the end of the course there will be both formal and informal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mean it's a formal group in its true essence because follow certain guidelines as laid down for the very specific purpose when we took admission to the course. I mean, if we look at, however, with the more time passes, I think keeping certain practices as very solid foundation of the how we should be reacting to it or how we should follow the norms. There are quite a bit of opportunity to discuss on many topics informally, but within the ambit of the I mean course of our studies, I guess.
Yes. So you're correct. A group, an informal group can exist within a formal group, though the opposite may be difficult. Like you may not have a formal group inside an informal group, but an informal group can exist within a formal group. So our class, if you ask for my thinking, our class is a command group, is a formal command group. Why I say command group is because all of us, you, me, are, here by a certain structure. So command does not always have to mean manager employee. It has to, what it basically refers to is having a certain element of formality in the whole process of things. So our class is a command group. It's a very formal command group where I have a role to play, you have a role to play. Kelsa has a role to play, the school has a role to play, and all of these roles are defined. Our syllabus is defined, our class timings are defined, the number of hours are defined, what happens when is defined. So everything is defined. All of us have to come on to Zoom platform is defined. So there's a very clear structure here. There is a hierarchy too. Hierarchy always does not have to mean reporting structure. Hierarchy also refers to the fact that I am going to be the one here teaching. You are going to be the one here learning. If we have an issue, we go to Farida, right? So my role, your role, her role, all of that is defined. So our class is a formal command group. However, last week's homework and then team one who formed a group, they formed a group for a specific issue. Now, we could call it a task-based group, or we can also call it an interest-based group, because in a way it is short-term. It's not like they're going to be doing this every day. So it could be a task-based group. I would also think maybe it's an interest-based group. The interest being, okay, we've got one question to answer in homework. Let's come together, create this quick WhatsApp group. Let's finish this off. And by the end of Saturday or Sunday, you are done. You disband and move on with life, right? So interest-based group, again, largely the example I've given is marathon and all, hobbies, but anything is to do with a specific interest that emerges that will go away as soon as the interest is accomplished, right? What is also possible in the context of groups is that people can belong to multiple groups at the same time, which means all of us are part of a formal command-based group, which is this class. And let's say all of us are part of a common WhatsApp group. Yeah, we are part of the group. But now as we start knowing each other, I know that some of you are in Chennai. So let's say I'm also in Chennai. So I send you a message and say, hey, you know what? All of us are in the same class. We've been meeting online for 2 weeks. How about we catch up for a cup of coffee this Saturday? Let's come together. Obviously, you're not possibly going to ask that to people who are not in Chennai because your interest is to meet physically. So you will probably 5 or 6 of you who are in Chennai will get together and say, okay, let's meet for a cup of coffee. You'll come together, form a group, and then, you will move on, right? So you'll meet for a specific purpose. Now it is possible that you will continue to meet and then, this relationship lasts forever because possibly you start looking at common characteristics among yourself and then an interest group, short term, becomes a long term friendship group. And then, you like I think Rama was saying, beyond this course, some of you will form friendship groups and say, oh, yeah, we have things in common, so let's explore. Okay. So any questions? Any clarifications? Are we good so far?
Yes, we are good.
You're good? Okay. I'm not really planning on taking like a break right now, but if you need to get a sip of water or whatever, just you can step aside and take that and then come back quickly. That should be okay. But we will just continue with the topic because we have ground to cover today. So we will just continue. Now, I want you to think, and especially those of you who have, let's say, been in a new company in the last 1 year, I want you to think harder. And I wanted to think about, and I wanted to share your experience in how, when you joined the organization, how did you assimilate? How did you become part of the organization after you joined it? You joined day 1 week happened, 1 month happened. How did you join the organization? Like, how did you get onboarded? How did you become part of your team, group, whatever? So, and right now I am using the words group and team interchangeably. As we go by, we will learn that groups and teams are different things. But right now, just for the sake of avoiding confusion, we'll just say group, team, whatever, all mean the same. But later on, we'll discover there are distinctions within it. So yeah, those of you who've been in a new company or have taken a new project, please share how did you become part of the group?
So, Niranjan, let me share my experience.
Yes,
Just a
please.
quick brief note. Like as soon as I joined, like the first induction with the HR, and after that, the HR have taken me through all the managers. It's a kind of floor walk, and I met the team managers, and the HR introduced me. So she's a new sales manager, and she will take care of operations. So that kind of introduction session was happened. So this is usually been it's a practice for this company, where I was taken through to all the managers, existing managers, and then also to the team. They have taken a formal walk, and then we had a formal discussion. So, and I have scheduled meeting with the C-level managers as well, so that I should know the company organization structures, my arc hierarchy, and on all these things. So in that way, and then this is the start. After that, again, getting involved in the projects process training. We have training programs for, like, we have to get into a training for 30 days and then certification, and we have an interaction with the client level of interview after the certification, and then client comes to know, so she's the one going to take care of this project. So in that way, we have a weekly connect with the bi-weekly and weekly connect with the clients for close to 2 months. So in that way, I've started interacted with the team, and that way, like, people comes to know about me. So in that way, I started mingle with a new group.
So talk a little about your team interactions. How were they in the beginning?
It's
How are they today?
It's an independent role. Actually, if I see, my role is actually an independent role, but then I work along with the team managers to get the targets done. So I used to have a regular connect with the team managers to make them understand where they are standing. So I have a common meeting scheduled I have three process. So I used to have a common meeting. So I pull up the leads, and then I connect a call, and then I have a weekly call with the managers, two LOB managers, who are senior managers. So I used to have a weekly connect with them, and I have to present my performance to the clients as well. There's a bi-weekly call. So I used to have a team connect. And then beyond that, I used to have a connect with the agents as well. So I used to sit with the agents and see how they're performing, how they're working on chats, how they're pitching the sales, and so all these things. If I see something going wrong or something that the pitching is not correct, I used to sit with them and share I'll just do some brainstorming session. I get the feedback, I share my feedback, and what's the best we can do. So in that way, I started interacting. So more the interaction. It's not only, viewing and share, sending mail. I used to sit with them, keep on interacting, we have to
Okay.
keep on talking to them.
And when you started these interactions the first time, how receptive or how open was the person to take that feedback from you when you were the first time or the second time or the third time compared to the 50th time?
So this is again, it's I would say that as soon as I go and started working again, they have their own complex their mind. Like I'm already there in the project for a year, so I know better than you. So this is something, the first thing reflects, when I started highlighting. This is something that I came across through my experience. I used to talk to my team managers. I said that, see, hey, guy, this is something that you have to do, modify it so that you can bring the results better, and said no, we have already done it, but then there is no results. So initially it's objection only, and then when experience, when we implemented for one set of group and we saw the success, the other set of team is also started implementing, and there we see the success.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for sharing that. Anyone else wants to share your experiences when you joined a new team or a new project just got started? Or even if not new team exactly in a year, but do you remember your experiences when you joined the new team? Voice is breaking.
So I joined this new project last year. Okay.
Okay.
I'm in this role that I'm into currently. I took over this role last financial year. And yeah, so before getting into this role, I was not communicated clearly the entire picture. After getting into the role, I got to know a few more things, okay, about certain situations that were existing in the current unit, and the urgency of certain things. And I got to also understand that the customer was super demanding. Okay, multiple accounts. It was a very complex. It has a very complex structure with multiple accounts ranging from large size to mid size to small size. And yeah, the team was also very small. So good thing was,
what were your, sorry, Dipti, what were your experiences as an individual? How did you feel at as soon as you joined, the first day, first week, first month? What were your feelings?
They interviewed me, I think 3-4 times. Okay, different people interviewed me. So once I got into it, I was super confident. Okay, because
Okay.
I was also sure that they have also in multiple rounds of interviews really figured out whether they really want me or not as this person. Because since while I was an outsider, I wouldn't know completely about the challenges that they were going through, but probably the people who were interviewing were really well aware of what they are going through. So that was my view. So when I went there, I was very much confident on my domain and my capability, and I was very motivated because the time frame wherein they had got me, and because I was referred by a few people for this particular situation, which was demanding, I was very sure and I was very well prepared that, there are going to be surprises, and it's not going to be an easy road. And they are getting me probably because things are not going, the way they wanted to in this particular area. So I was mentally prepared in some of these things. Um, yeah, so I think after a few days, I realized the team was not very motivated. Okay, so that made me a little low about the the team situation. Made me a little, I mean, not very happy with the scenario, and I felt that they need more guidance, more mentorship, more help, because I understood that most of the team members were recruited during COVID times. So, it was a very different. So, they lacked a sense of belongingness because it was that time, and it was not usual the company structure in which they were inducted. Otherwise, company has a different way of inducting people. So that was one feeling. Some other
Okay, all right.
experiences from the client side where this one of the key stakeholders, I saw that initially they were very um, they showed some attitude, while they were talking to me, while they would talk to me. Also, they would try to, gauge my knowledge or capability at various levels. That was the initial feeling. But then I felt that, I was really well versed with my domain and my area. So any problem they kind of threw up in front of me, um, uh, I was able to kind of, take it through, whether it was individual
How did you do
capability.
that? How did you do that?
Out of certain experiences, I was able to come through it.
Yeah.
Out of my own complex and problem solving skills, I would get some ideas and I was able to do it. And wherever stakeholder management was needed, um, I'm very well connected with every area of the team, be it the corporate team or the, inter-regional team or the geo team or so. So I think my client found that very, very, they were very surprised because if a solution earlier would take up a very long time, probably, after I was brought in, they felt that things went really smooth, very quick.
Okay.
And now to the situation is that initially there were certain stakeholders who would want to have some meeting with me twice a week. Now they just come once a month, They will just call me up certain times and they will say, ma'am, do you need our help anytime or everything is going smooth? Because now they just trust completely that, okay, she's there. We don't have to, they've just gone so
Okay.
relaxed actually.
Understood.
That's the situation. So, yeah, so multiple experiences. Initially, it was not an easy road. The trust building process was not easy. Okay, so I felt tested many a times, but I think the knowledge-based trust that we were talking about the other day, and then uh, uh, being through with multiple situations and proving myself, they were just so convinced that things that they have made the right choice. And now the situation is that I'm the only person of the whole unit, who operates out of this Ahmedabad Gandhinagar branch. Um, and it is okay. And I know that, a CXO level approval was taken for me because they were recruiting somebody from an absolutely off location branch. And my
Okay.
entire unit does not sit over here in Ahmedabad, be it client, boss,
Understood. Yeah.
team, nobody. So I'm the only person who just goes to office and also operate out of a cabin as good as me sitting over here on my table chair and managing things out.
Okay,
So
good,
yeah,
good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. The reason I was asking, you to share this, and thanks for sharing both of you is, and I've noted it down in a certain sequence because what I wanted to, discuss with you is that group formation, or when you join a new team or a new manager joins an existing team, or when you have joined a new project, anything that requires group of people to come together for the first time, right? Let's start discussing about when it happens for the first time, right? Later we will pick up other options, but for the first time a group of people are coming together, not necessarily all of them. You are joining a new team, or a new manager is taking over an old team, or you are joining, a group of people are coming together to start a new project, whatever it is. every group will go through a certain sequence of formation. And this is that sequence. Now we'll put a name to it, right? You have, there are 4 columns that I have written this down here. And particularly in the second one, you see, I have written a lot based on what you have said. We'll discover why. So the first one is called forming. Every group has to form. You cannot simply come together and say, okay, I will give you the output tomorrow. I don't mean literally tomorrow, but what I mean is people just cannot come together and say, okay, yeah, here's the output. No, they have to go through this consciously or subconsciously. The first step is that they form a group. How does this forming happen? People come together, like in one case, introductions happen, processes, policy orientation, onboarding, induction, all of these are forms of forming a group, right? You go and meet people, say hi to them, say, okay, I've joined this team. Okay, this is what the work, whatever, right? All the basics happen here. You start meeting the team members that you're going to work with. You start sitting with them. All of that happens. Then if you see the second step, and you have given me all these examples, I have not written it down. But if you see, this step is one of struggle. Anybody wants to take a guess at what this word is? It starts from S. What is the second step? Any guesses?
Storming.
Yes, absolutely. So the second step is that of storming, which means if you have started off at point A, this is forming. Storming will definitely take it down. If this is forming, this is storming. It will go down. Where there will be trust issues, first of all, especially when a new team, this will happen. I know better than you. Why are you telling me? Happens with almost any newcomer who joins the team, whether he's a manager or a new employee. Somebody in the team will tell you, look, I know better than you. Why are you telling me? As a newcomer, you will feel less motivated during this stage. You will question yourself. You will say, why did I join this team? You will suddenly feel this thing of less belonging. All of this will happen. And this happens, right? People will not trust you. Which is why, to make sure that this stage is, the second stage is as, it will happen, but to make sure it's as easy as possible, you need to make sure that your formation is strong. So your orientations and everything have to be very strong. Your introductions have to be very strong. Org announcements, right? It's very important to get organization announcements right. Because if you're not communicated, if your arrival, if your introduction is not communicated properly, this you can be sure will be one of the most difficult phases. However, assuming it's a group and there's a common objective, slowly you will go into this stage called norming. Norming means, remember in team 1 also you spoke about team norms, you spoke about roles and responsibilities, all of that happens here. Where you, and some of the examples you gave is, okay, I set up a common meeting, I set up a weekly call, all of I set up my stakeholder connections, so much so that now people are so reliable on me, dependent on me. All of that is the process of norming. Norming is basically where you've come through this whole thing of storming. And now okay, for you to succeed, what kind of norms do you set? How will people communicate? Will it be over email? Will it be on a call? Will it be a stand-up meeting? What will it be? Will we have lunch together? I mean, in a manner of saying that, how will we come together? Yeah, let's have lunch together. In one of the examples we heard earlier, we have lunch together, starts off with very casual conversations. And then we discuss everything about all the problems we have and we need to solve. Maybe by the end of lunch, we are done with problem solving also, right? Some teams have breakfast together. They say, okay, every morning we will meet together and discuss agenda for the day. and everybody has to attend this meeting. Quarterly dinners, these are all norming exercises where you say that this is how we will communicate as a team. This is how we will talk to each other. These are the things that are acceptable behaviors. These are the things that are unacceptable behaviors. For example, how will feedback be given? You might say, okay, if it is positive feedback, it can be done in front of the team. But if it's negative feedback, please do it one-on-one in a room. Especially to a new manager, you might have a conversation like that. And then once you are through the norming process, that's when you can expect some performing to happen. Performing means, remember at this somewhere in middle we said, why do groups exist? It is for goal achievement. But the goal achievement is going to happen when you go through this process. This cannot be skipped for this to happen. So it has to go. So from storming, it will come to norming, then it goes to performing. Are there any stages after performing, or once you do all of this, then you only perform?
And sustaining.
Same on at times it is said adjourning or something if required as a later stage, some kind of modifications. But I think they're pretty much, till forming, storming, norming, performing. These are the four, basic developmental stages, but at times adjourning is added. I'm not sure if that should be part of it, but
it's true. There is this thing of the phoenix. It apparently the phoenix is said to be it dies only to rise again. Now every team, so initial research suggested that this is how it happens, and once a team starts performing, it will continue to perform. Later research said that after performing, it has to move into something called declining, or adjournment is also another word that can be used. Basically, what it means is the team will die. Now it looks very shocking, right? Die. Die in the sense, it's not that they will stop working with each other, but what it indicates is that after achieving optimal performance, every team must come back and form itself once again, allow itself to be stormed, set new guidelines, and then perform at a different level. Because if the team is performing at the same level for years together, remember, I think last week we picked up this conversation about, okay, this year you're rated exceptionally well. Next year, again, you cannot be rated exceptionally well, because once you have performed and you have achieved the target, and now you are moving on, and typically no team dies per se. They continue forever, just the people change. But the die is in the sense that you have to repurpose yourself, again go through this process in order to stay at the top. Death of a team also happens in the sense that constantly people are leaving and joining. So every time a new team member joins, it is said that the team sort of restructures itself to accommodate the new person, and in a manner of saying, subconsciously again goes back to forming stage. So out of 10 people, one has left, one new person has joined. Automatically the team will reset itself a little bit, because to accommodate one person, you have to again go through forming. That one person coming to the team new means that there will be that little bit of, some of the existing team members saying, I know better than you. So that is storming. And then further research indicated that at any given point of time, a team can be experiencing all the 5 stages of group formation. So it's not that in January I started with the project team and by May I started performing. It is possible that just around the time when I thought that the major issues of storming were over and I'm moving into norming, there will be two people in the team who have never got along with each other. They continue to be at the level of storming while the rest of the group has moved on. But because they are at the stage of storming, it means that on an average, the team continues to have some kind of interpersonal issues. With me? Yes? Too much?
No, with you.
Okay. So decline is a perfectly normal thing to happen in any practical team. It is going to happen. The main thing, irrespective of where the team is to recognize that these things are part and parcel of the team, and especially the leader needs to make sure that people, no matter where they are, no matter where the group is, are moving forward to the right as much as possible, which means if they are at the forming stage, the leader's job is to move the team to, not move the team to storming, but sensing that there is storming that is going to happen, sensing that there's going to be a lot of negativity, fighting, blah, blah, blah. All of that sensing, the leader needs to manage that situation. And then he has to move people from storming by bringing them together, saying, okay, guys, sit down. Why are you fighting? What are the problems? Okay, you have a problem with resource allocation. Okay, let's set a team norm that all resource allocation will be done at the beginning of the day, or it'll all be done by the end of the day. Okay, you guys have a problem with the fact that decisions are made and then communication happens. All right, as a team norm, we will make sure that all decisions are made with prior consultation and communicated to you in advance. And only after that they are implemented. So it's a team norm. Now nobody can violate the team norm. So a leader's job is to very carefully, constructively, creatively move people from one stage to the next stage at a group level, not individual level, group level, and keep pushing it to the right. Okay. Questions? Okay, Abhishek has a question. Is a decline due to sheer nature of dynamics? Yes, absolutely. Though Abhishek, if the decline is due to rudimentary nature of the dynamics, it basically means the team has actually not moved out of the storming stage. So it is possible that the team was forced into performing directly without addressing the storming stage at all. That's why you continue to have rudimentary nature of dynamics.
Yeah, I mean, why I'm also saying this is, Niranjan, if I may explain this, that suppose this entire cycle was developed in order to achieve certain aspects. Okay. Now, I mean, as you mentioned that, okay, it will go to the stage of maybe performing and then adjourning if required. And suppose there is not, I mean, from a objective standpoint of the team, if there is not much of a change, if there are changes, obviously at a point in time, this cycle makes a lot of sense. But
yes,
there is not there, and maybe that the team is now on a decline just due to the fact that, okay, they have achieved what they had to, and now it is very monotonous. Okay, and in that case, even if there is no change in the direction or how, I mean, there is nothing changing for me to achieve that way from a goal standpoint. Still, should this cycle be reinvented? Is my question.
So you're saying the work has become monotonous, correct? Can't hear you, Abhishek.
sorry. I was saying that, okay, it's not monotonous. I'm saying monotonous is maybe the perception of the team, but
Fine.
maybe the actual work remains same, and then it's a decline, and there is no, I would say, no very strong rationale to just redevelop it because there
Sure.
is no other dynamic.
Understood. My
Way.
question to you is, I'm doing the same job for the last 1 year. My entire team is doing the same job for the last 1 year. That's the leader's perception or the assessment. And the leader's starting to see that the team is now declining. Right? So the objective to you is very clear that unless you change this monotony to something more interesting, the team will not be motivated enough to come to work anymore. So the leader's objective is very clear. The work has become so monotonous, so I need to repurpose. So for example, I am doing sales of automobiles, two-wheelers only, right? Become very monotonous to me as a team, as a sales manager, very monotonous because that's all I'm doing, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Now my whole team is saying, we are done. We can't sell any more two-wheelers, right? I mean, we'll do it if you want us to do it, but it doesn't enthuse us to come to work anymore. So now the sales manager is thinking, in order for me to motivate my team, maybe I think I should get them to either look at electric vehicles now, because that's the new thing, or I need to push them into four-wheeler sales. So in either way, you have repurposed the objective, so you will start again.
Yes, I mean, I think that is a classic case where there is a different purpose for me to put to, but if that does not change in there are certain roles or jobs where things do not change. I mean, we do not have options at times. So in that case, I mean, how effective will this be to reinvent this cycle is what I was thinking.
No, then in that case, the solution is not to reinvent anything. It is to then provide other forms of motivation.
Okay.
Training, learning, development, all of that. But you will realize there also that those solutions will be sort of temporary in nature. If my true problem statement is that work has become monotonous and there's no way this team can do this job anymore, then you will have to repurpose and look at what else they can do job wise, because job satisfaction is the biggest satisfaction of motivation. Right? So you can do short-term solutions at the performing stage itself. Don't wait for the decline to start. And as a leader, you have to be proactive and understand this is happening. But beyond the point, you will have to repurpose the team, which is a completely separate topic. But if the decision is to repurpose the team, then it will go through this cycle again. Okay. Any other questions?
It's something that I just wanted to ask because this is the 5 steps of group formation: forming, storming, norming, performing, and make them, continue with the performing again. Like the final stage, you said declining. So going back to forming, like I feel that it is again reforming, like because in one stage, the set of crowd, feel bored to, work with one particular group or just need some shuffle. So I have something that like instead of forming again, like it will be a reforming, like change of, so that they.
Absolutely. But we are not saying, we are not using two words, but you can call it forming, you can call it reforming. But the fact is that you have to go through that process again of forming. It may be faster because you already know the people. It may be slower if it's all a brand new team. But the thing is, unless this process is followed in some sense, and if people try to skip one level to move to the next level, it can possibly lead to unintended consequences. I mean, think about it, right? A new manager joins the team. No introductions are done. No formations are done. He's just told, okay, by tomorrow or not, I mean, by the end of 6 months, you have to make sure that the overall productivity is doubling from 100% to whatever percentage. No formations are done. Can you imagine what this manager will go through?
Yeah, of course.
right? Will the team members accept him,
No.
right? If I just tell you, okay, this person from tomorrow onwards report to him. And when I say introductions and all, of course, I mean the literal aspect of, the social courtesies and all of that. But it's also about the fact that allowing people to come together in a natural way as much as possible. Without saying, okay, perform, perform, perform. Day one performing does not happen. There's a phrase in English that's called hit the ground running. And that is used a lot in leadership context. Saying, oh, we want you to join tomorrow and hit the ground running. It's a great proverb, but practically it is not possible. You cannot hit the ground running. You will literally fall and crash if you try to do that. So again, you might wonder that if we have to go through so much, then it will take such a long time. The research is not saying how much time each of these processes need to take. The research is only saying every new group will go through this. Short time, long time, yes. But it will go through this in some sense or the other. Any other questions?
There is no question, but I just wanted to ask you in the initial day, like you were talking about some books, you referred some book to us. So for OB, so what is that? Who's the author name and what is the book name?
I'll give it. I'll put it in the. I'll send it to. We'll have that put in your WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's take a quick look at some of the theory. And all right. So we spoke about what are groups. Two more individuals interacting and interdependent with a common objective. Interaction, interdependence, and objective are the key to why groups exist. We then spoke about group types, which can be formal, it can be informal. Under formal groups, you have command groups. What are command groups? They are based on a very formal structure, formal processes. Everything is very formal about a command group. Then we also spoke of task groups, which are inherently cross-functional groups in organizational context. And most of what you see in organizations is command groups only. Then sometimes there are task groups, where the objective is the task at hand, not so much the hierarchy. Then you have informal groups, which is based on either interest or friendship groups. Interest groups are those where what is critical is what is the common interest. In a friendship group, what is critical is what is the common characteristic. Why do we need groups? We spoke about it at the very beginning for one of these reasons. Security, status, self-esteem, affiliation, power, and goal achieved. That is why people come together in the first place. If none of this was true, people will not have a need to come together as a group. We then spoke about how are groups formed, right? Starts with formation and moves up the ladder to storming, norming, performing, and adjourning or declining. And after adjourning or declining, again, it starts from forming. So it does not mean that the group ends to exist. It just means that in some sense, it has to form. Most groups in reality, this is theory, but in reality, most groups are at this stage and more than one of these stages at all the time, because new people are joining, some people are leaving. So readjustment is a constant thing in group dynamics. But if you were to take a very ideal example, let's say a team with 0% attrition started off, let's say in January of this year, more or less has gone through the forming stage, more or less has gone through the storming stage. So you can assume that, yeah, now they're moving to norming and performing, because let's say 10 people joined in the month of January, same 10 people are there in the month of August also. So it is possible that generally speaking, they have all moved up in the same form or fashion. But the reality is people are moving out all the time. And therefore it is possible that groups are constantly readjusting It is the leader's responsibility to make sure that he pushes the team to the next stage as quickly as possible, because the ultimate requirement for a leader, and we spoke about this in leadership theories also, is that performance of an objective. So the leaders, this thing is move everybody as quickly as possible to performing, but not at the cost of this process. So if people are in storming and you refuse to address some of the issues and then say, I will forget about it and start performing, you will have attrition as a leader for sure. Because if your storming issues remain unresolved, you cannot perform. So they have to be addressed, but as quickly as possible, right? In the next class, we will take up two important things and then of course plan for the rest, which is there is a group property, which means every group will have some of these things. There will be roles, there'll be norms, there'll be statuses, group size, what is an ideal group size, and one very important topic called cohesion, which is, stickiness. How much do I want to be part of the group? How much do I want to go and solve problems? Now, one clarification I want to give here is that when we say a group, like one of you said, you're an individual contributor in the organization. Now, group does not necessarily have to mean that, let's say if you're the only HR manager and there's nobody else in HR, you are the everything of HR. That's fine. Your group is basically the people who you work with, who you are interdependent and interacting. So I think one of you said, I'm the individual contributor, I don't have a HR team. Effectively, your group is all the team managers that you deal with. Why? Are you interacting with them? Yes. Are you interdependent on them? Yes. Is there a common objective? Yes. So that makes you a group. So group does not necessarily have to be the function that you're working in. Generally it is, because you'll have an HR team, you'll have a finance team, but in some companies, maybe there's only one HR business partner and they don't want any big team there. Fine. But this HR business partner is interacting, is interdependent, and there is a common objective. So whoever that person is becomes part of the group. And then we will also discuss that, okay, so far we've been only saying group, everything is so good about group, but there are some problems with groups also. One of the things that groups are said to do is they say it slows down decision making because there's so many people involved to talk to. So, the fact that it curbs creative thinking, because, there's so many people that where's the time for creativity? So that's a different line of thought, but we will come to the dark side of groups and like what can be done about it also in the next class. Any quick questions before we log out?
Good.
Okay. So I will see you on Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.